Hey, Lock Doc here, back with another Sargent lock. This one today in front of us is the 6500 series, specifically the 65G04, which is a classroom function, meaning it is always locked on the outside, always unlocked on the inside. Anyways, what's nice about the 6500s is the price point for them isn't too hateful. A couple things to note about it. The only part that is able to be replaced is the latch bolt. There are no lock bodies or lever return springs. Now, one thing I've mentioned in past videos is that Sargent will always have the line on their latch bolt. However, on the 6500, I don't know if you can see it, they do not have that. It just says Sargent and then the R for registered trademark and then the UL listing. So my guess is this originates overseas. But anyways, back to it. Alright, so what makes this one different from all the other ones is you can tell from this, the rosette on it kind of has a nice curve to it. 7 lines and 10 lines don't have that. They have a more like 90-degree return back. These are a very common lock. You'll see them every day walking around. Anyways, here we go. So this one is, like I said, a storeroom function. So like anything, you always start at the inside lever. So press pin, pull the lever off. What's also nice about this one, it also has the mounting post at 12 and 6, similar to the 10 line. But anyways, rosette pulls off the same way. You just gotta turn, pull, and you're left with the 2 mounting screws. Take those out. Here we go. Alright, they got an extra mounting plate in there and another spot for 2 more screws right here. That just further adds more strength to the lock in terms of somebody who's trying to hit it with a hammer. You know, downward force or pull, those help keep it all together. So, take that piece off. Alright, once again, we're left looking at this cotter pin design. So you got a cotter pin that spins diagonally from one side to the other. Again, all you have to do is just kind of pry it up just the slightest bit, and one side will pop out. Pull that out, extract it. Easiest way to get this kind of bell cover off is just push in on the latch bolt and lift up. Sometimes it gets hung up on the latch bolt, so you got to push in a little bit. Alright, now you're left with essentially the shaft and this outer cover. Easiest way to get that is just kind of pry on one side and then push in the latch bolt, and then that piece lifts out. So I'm sitting here looking at the internal mechanisms. As you can tell, there's a little piece that fits down there called a locking bar. You can kind of see it right there too. But anyway, so you lift up and out. Again, there's that magical balancing act of the return springs. I'm sorry, latch retraction springs. Alright, so here's that locking bar I was telling you about. So we lift that out. Out comes that hole. That's kind of the locking piece. And then also down on the inside, you can see the tail piece, and then also the little hole right down there that we're going to take this awl and stick it in and then kind of pull down on it. Okay, so, better thought, easiest way to go about this. Take a flathead screwdriver, try and get between the tail piece and the shaft, and kind of try and knock that tail piece loose. And you can do that Once you do that, then you should be able to depress the ring and pull the cylinder off. I'm sorry, pull the lever off. Just like that. A lot of the trick with getting this outside lever off has to do with trying to get this out of the way. Because what you don't see is down on the inside of there, it's kind of like a C-shaped piece. That this piece, when in the vertical position, prevents it from being depressed, but when you turn your key and go horizontal with it, it allows the pin to be depressed and pushed down. So, voila, cylinder. So, there it is, all in pieces. Now the fun part of putting it all back together, make it nice and pretty for everybody. Put that back in there. Because again, if you don't have your tailpiece, your key's just going to spin around in circles and not do a darn thing. Alright. Okay, so let's get that in there. Alright, so with that piece back on in there, and it's back to putting it all back together. Now, here's that lock bar and locking cam. Put that in there. That's what locks your handle. Alright, and then we got latch assembly. We've got to balance the springs on there. It's easier to tilt the lock like this and try and get the springs. They have little notches right down there that the springs sit in. Anyway, so you want to depress it to where it gets past those two little pieces right down there. You can barely tell right there. Alright, then to put this piece back together. Okay, so sometimes when you go and pry this off originally, this part, sometimes you got to crimp them back just a little bit. You don't want it too tight. Alright, so then push that in. Push that back into place. Alright, so there's the beginnings of it. Put the bell cow. Just like so. Now we go to put the cotter pin back in there. Remember, start with the big leg right there. Put that in one of the holes first. Kind of hook it in there. Come around the back. Put that right into there. Alright, now you'll notice this shaft has this groove right here. That groove lines up with that piece right there. So that's how you know how that fits onto there. Then on top of that, of course, put your mounting screws to keep it all together. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way, just a little bit. Just so it doesn't prevent the rosette from going on there. Because remember, someone's going to have to take those out at some point to reinstall the lock. So, there you go. And you see your slot right there on the edge. That corresponds to that little bump right there. On there, turn. Now that's on there. Attach the lever. Voila! All done. Thank you. Please subscribe. Have a great day.